We just want to go deep dive and then para makilala, siyempre kanang mga kaiponaryo, we call them iponaryos, yung mga nag-uumpisa mag-ipon. Maraming na sumusunod sa'yo sa mga financial tips, sa faith-based tips mo. But most of them, hindi ka naman kilala talaga in terms of how you really started. Can you bring us back, no, yung ano mo, childhood memories mo?
I was 12 years old when I walked into a Catholic prayer meeting that changed my life. And then, 13 years old, I started preaching. So that's in a story in itself, you know, how in the world did I start to preach? But I did. And then after that, nag-serve na ako sa Panginoon. And I did not stop. I started finding myself and my mission. So one of the favorite stories I like to tell is when I was 13 years old, nakabasa ako ng libro ni Saint Francis of Assisi. And that inspired me so much. Ito yung isang tao na mayaman, binigay niya yung ari-arian niya sa Panginoon, and then naging pulubi, a beggar for the Lord.
Wow.
You know, walking around, and that was his whole life. And then he founded the Franciscan order. 5,000 young men followed him to love the Lord and serve the Lord. So binabasa ko yun. 13 years old pa lang ako. Sinabi ko, gagawin ko to. I want to live like him, pray like him, you know. And so I went to my closet, got all my clothes, gave them to the poor without asking permission from my mother. Yung nanay ko pasok sa kwarto nung binuksan niya yung closet, sinabi niya, saan yung mga damit mo? Sinabi ko, pinamigay ko. I remember I started talking to beggars, 15 years old pa lang, nagbi-ministry na kami sa slums. Tapos, I started living there. I went to my mom, I said, Mom, doon na lang ako titira. Para, you know, I want to be with them, knock on doors, tell them about Jesus. So, pumayag siya. Which is, saludo ako sa nanay ko, pumayag siya.
Taga saan ka?
So, I come from Cubao, I lived in Cubao, and then yung ministry namin nasa Monumento, Caloocan. So, doon kami sa slum area na yun.
So, paano yung buhay na gano'n na tumira ka doon? Ano yung experience mo?
So, I lived in a house na 8 yung nakatira doon, 6 na anak, si mami at si daddy. Halos pag matulog kami sa sahig, side view.
Oo.
Side view kami, hindi kami cash. Tapos at 3, ito yung joke ko na lang to. 3 in the morning, sasabihin, okay, switch sides, para hindi naman mangawit.
Para kayong bisagra ng
Sardinas. Yeah. But that was life-changing for me, talking with them, living with them, eating their food, laughing with them, praying with them, introducing Jesus to them. And so I would stay there for 2 weeks, tapos uwi ako. Kasi nag-aaral pa ako eh. You know, I was going to high school, and naalala ko, mababa yung mga grades ko kasi puro ministry iniisip ko eh.
Wow.
You know, living with the poor, helping the poor, preaching, building prayer groups. Yun yung buhay ko nun.
Amazing.
Yeah. And I said to myself, ito na yung buhay ko. You know, if God wants me to be a priest, God wants me to live single, you know, okay lang, you know. And meron akong retirement plan, quote unquote. Ang retirement plan ko, titira na lang ako sa sidewalk. Yung ganun, yung crazy. Siyempre, bata pa, di ba? I was naive in one sense, but there was also a lot of purity in my heart. I said, Lord, wala akong, let my life be for you na lang, you know. Hindi ko naiisip yung pera, kayamanan, you know, just let me live in the sidewalk and be a beggar for the Lord. Ika nga parang Saint Francis.
Wow. Wait, guys, ito lang sabihin ko, no? Yung parang 12 years old. Majority of the people na nakausap ko, Brother Bo, at saka mga tao nakikinig, nanonood, ang turning point nila is from 12 to 15 years old.
Talaga?
Yes.
Amazing, no?
Yes, I read the autobiography of the late Henry C. Gokong Wei. 12 years old parati.
Galing, no?
Even me, I had an encounter when I was 12. That was the time when my father business collapsed.
Oh.
And 3 years kaming sobrang naghirap. And then that was the time I started to engage in sales and in business.
Wow.
So when you were telling the story, talagang parang may common denominator.
Tama.
So because of that, yung experience mo, okay, you want to serve and you want to live. Parang may di ba yung case Saint Francis of Assisi, nabasa ko rin, meron siyang vow of poverty.
Yes.
Tama ba yun?
Yes.
Can you explain to us ano ibig sabihin nun?
So, there are people in the church, specifically missionaries, and specifically celibate people, na ito yung tawag ng Panginoon sa kanila. They really believe they will renounce riches and become poor to be with the poor, to be identified with the poor, and to focus totally on God and what God wants.
Okay.
So you call it the vow of poverty.
Okay.
And there are many, many expressions. There are people who live in a community, and then usually a congregation, nuns or priests or missionaries, monks, and then they take the vow of poverty. So it's the community that provides for the food, hindi nila iniisip, basta sa service ng Panginoon lang
Parang si
sila.
Mother Teresa, ganun
Yes,
din, di ba?
exactly.
Oo, she went to Calcutta, India, the poorest of the poor,
Yes.
served the orphans, mga
Yes.
ganun. Okay. So, let's go back to your story. So, 15, paano naman nag-progress at nagbago yung parang pananaw mo sa buhay?
It took a long time. So I was doing that, serving the Lord nung pagka-graduate ko sa school, kept on serving, and by age 30, 29, 30 years old, dun ko sinabi sa sarili ko, and I prayed a lot, and I asked God, do you really want me to do this, be single? But no, in my heart, it was to get married and to have children.
Kailan nagbago yon?
29, 30 years old.
Bakit? Paano nagbago?
So I've been praying for years, no? Parang walang sagot, hindi ko alam. I was attracted to both. I was thinking, ang sarap maging single, ang sarap maging pare, ang sarap rin mag-asawa, magkaroon ng mga anak, and raise them up in the Lord. So I was drawn into these two directions until there came to this one retreat. I said I needed to make a decision kasi 30 na ako eh. And so I went up a mountain, got into a 7-day retreat with a spiritual director. Tapos araw-araw nagdadasal at yun, after that 7-day retreat naging clear. I was gonna get married.
Wow.
Yeah.
Pero siguro strange yung parang we're missing yung from 15 to 30. Nagtrabaho ka ba?
Hindi.
How do you sustain
Hindi.
yourself?
I was a missionary, so may allowance yung quote-unquote yung community ko. So 800 pesos a day. I'm sorry, a month.
Okay.
A day, sana a day, ano? A month. And then what happened was, so syempre tumaas yun as inflation row, pero it was so simple, it was so basic, pamasahe lang, papunta sa prayer meeting para mag-preach ka.
So wala kang car during the time?
Buti na lang, may kotse yung tatay ko, hinihiram ko.
Okay.
And then there was a point when there were friends of mine who said, bigyan nga natin ng kotse si Bo. So binigyan ako ng kotse. So I had a car. There were many faith instances.
Yeah.
Yung typical na kwento ng isang misyonaryo na wala kang panggas. So ganun yung mga yung mga pray over mo yung gas gauge kasi empty na. Lord, I claim in faith itong E na to, hindi empty. Enough, Lord. Enough. So, and nakakaabot naman ako sa prayer meeting, maski empty. So, ang dami mga ganung kwento of faith and answered prayer, which I really believe is something that I brought into, alam mo yung pag naging okay na yung negosyo, okay na yung cash flow, no? Okay na yung your needs are met na, madaling makalimutan na galing lahat sa Panginoon.
Yeah.
But because of my experience of being a missionary for, sabihin mo ng 18 years of living a simple life, hindi naman poverty eh. Sometimes poverty, pero more of simplicity. Kasi I was living with my parents eh. They provided naman. They understood what I was doing, suporta sila. So, di ba? May pagkain ako. So, hindi naman talaga poverty totally.
Hindi mo lang ma-afford siguro yung want mo.
Wala.
Talagang
wala. And I gave up all my wants, Wala akong wants. I gave that all up. I was just focused on the Lord for 18 years.
Wow.
And then, yun nga, 30 years old, decided to get married, and I said, hindi na pwede poverty. Pag may anak-anak, responsible ka na. But that was not all, Chinky. What really pushed me to study about money and to learn about money was my friends who were fellow missionaries na may asawa na at may mga anak na, pero walang alam sa pera.
Okay.
And not only that, I'm not sure kung this is still prevalent today, siguro hindi na, pero nung panahon na yon, okay, so this was 20 plus years ago, almost 30 years ago. The idea is, pag na kay Lord ka, dapat you live by faith, dapat medyo mahirap ka kung gusto mong maging banal. That was the conception
Yeah.
of that time.
Yes.
30 years ago, very prevalent. Not so much now. So my fellow missionaries, my friends, they were married, they had children, but they still wanted to live a life na wala sa, they don't want to talk about money. They, you know, si Lord na bahala sa amin. And that, I saw their life and it was very difficult. They were suffering. Yung mga, Brother Bo, pakidasal naman, may yung tuition ng anak ko, wala, hindi, baka 1 year siya ma-miss. Yung mga ganun. And it really was so painful kasi
Wow.
mahal ko sila. And I said to myself,
Single ka pa nun?
Single pa ako noon. Sinabi ko, Lord, ganito ba? Ganito ba talaga? Is this your idea? Kasi kung idea mo to, okay lang, we'll go through the suffering.
Yeah.
Pero parang hindi. Parang okay yung buhay ko as a single person, which is true. I was single, I was a missionary. Okay to. Pero pag may asawa ka na,
Oo.
may anak ka na, may nakadepende na sa'yo, parang hindi pwede. And so I had to study, I had to pray, I had to consult people until I realized, no, I really believe God wants us to have abundance. But parang hindi siya vow of poverty.
Okay.
It was a vow of generosity that
Wow.
God wants all of us to have.
Wow.
And you know, that vow is to be detached. You can have nothing and be attached to something that you
Yes.
do not have
Exactly.
and be greedy.
Exactly.
Or you can actually have many things. God
Yeah.
blesses you with so many things, but you're totally not attached. You know that God is the owner,
Yeah.
and then you say, Lord, sa'yo naman to eh. What do you want me to do with this?
Mm.
And so, I still live a simple life, Chinky.
You know what? What you mentioned is very important, no? Na yung sinasabi mo na kahit na wala ka, it doesn't mean say na banal ka, malapit ka sa Diyos.
Yes.
Kasi yun nga eh, di ba? May kasabihan, yung mga successful at mayaman, pinagmamalaki yung kagalingan nila, pedigree nila, pinag-aralan nila, kayamanan nila, di ba? Sometimes they can be proud of that and they can boast about that. Eh yung mga mahihirap, alam mo bang, again, not to put some pero minsan may pinagyayabang din sila.
Ano?
Alam mo ba wala akong pinag-aralan? Alam mo bang mahirap kami? Alam mo bang wala akong connection? Kaya ganitong buhay ko.
Yes.
Without us knowing na parang yung pinagyayabang ng mga mayaman, yung meron sila. Yung pinagyayabang ng mga wala is wala sila. Pinagyayabang nila, meron silang pinag-aralan. Pinagyayabang naman niya, wala silang pinag-aralan. Pinagyayabang nila, connection. Ito, wala kami. So, they're both the same.
Wow.
That's what I've realized, Brother Bo, na talagang, alam mo, iba lang yung storya,
Oo.
pero it's still making excuses.
Yes.
And then, that's what I've realized.
Interesting. When I was living in the slum area, yun yung refrain na naririnig ko lagi. You know, mahirap lang ako eh. Mahirap lang ako eh. Mahirap lang ako eh. Yun yung dahilan kung bakit sila ganon. Mahirap lang ako. And then, there's this, ito yung faith ko. You know, hanggang dito na lang ako.
Ito yung parang nabuhay kaming ganito,
Oo.
mamamatay kaming
Yes.
ganito. Pero alam mo, isa pang revelation while you're telling this, parang ang dami nangyari. Pasensya na, I know I'm interviewing si Brother Bo, but I just sense na marami nagsasabi na mahirap sila. Pero let me tell you, if you're going to times of challenges and poverty and trials right now, let me tell you this, mahirap lang ang sitwasyon mo, pero ang pagkatao mo hindi.
Wow. Very good.